comedy for camp, and some more. I'm Lisa Oligas, and you're watching Newsmakers. In this edition, we learn about an upcoming fundraiser by Soroptimist International of Joplin to support a camp for kids in foster care. It features two comedians, so later we will also learn about what it takes to do stand-up comedy. We begin our conversation with Soroptimist representatives Amanda Mitchell and event coordinator Courtney Bernard. Ladies, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
So let's begin. Let's get a little background of Soroptimist and the organization. Tell us about the mission of Soroptimist International and how someone can become a member.
Sure. Soroptimist was formed here in Joplin close to 90 years ago, and it's part of an international organization. And basically, the different chapters that are made up of this organization are made up of women who are in business backgrounds, and so they come together just to focus on certain causes. And so we like to focus on women and helping the youth as well. And so we have 3 service projects that we do that are our major service projects. One, of course, is Camp Soroptimist, which is a week-long summer camp for Jasper County foster kids. And then the other 2 programs that we do are the Live Your Dream Awards, which is monetary awards for women who've gone back to school to make a better life for themselves and their dependents. Mm-hmm. And then the Dream It, Be It program, which is career support for girls in high school. So we have an opportunity to mentor girls and help them along.
Okay. So tell me, Courtney, how does someone become a member of Soroptimist?
It's really easy. So we meet weekly at Mythos. You can be invited by a member if you have a friend that is one. We always encourage them to, bring a friend. Let us, share this hidden gem in the community. Or you can get on our website. You can email somebody, and we'll let you into those meetings. You come to a couple meetings, check it out, and then we send you the information to become a member.
Excellent. Well, we're talking about comedy for camp. So let's talk about this camp and how it fulfills your mission and how many kids do get to go each summer.
Yeah. Courtney, you want to talk about that?
Sure. So at camp, we usually have around 40 to 50 kids that come out for the week-long whole camp experience. These kids range from ages 8 to 14, sometimes a little bit older, up to 16. And then we just really let them be a kid. They come out and they get to experience it all. They get to experience, fishing and horseback riding, swimming, arts and crafts. And then, it takes the whole community to put this together. Soroptimist is kind of organizing everything with Children's Division, but we have so many volunteers that we have to have come put it all together for us.
Do the foster kids actually get to all go for free, or is there some fees involved as well?
They all get to attend for free, but they have to meet certain requirements to be able to attend each year. And so, Courtney, you want to talk about that?
Sure. Some of the requirements, that all goes through Children's Division, but it's like a lot of behavioral requirements that we ask that these children meet. So once they meet those requirements, they're invited out to camp. And so they get to enjoy that week with us. But there's no cost. That's what this fundraiser and some of the other things we do are for. So it's no cost to any of the families.
So you mentioned fishing, possibly horseback riding, all kinds of things, activities-wise. How important are adult volunteers to the camp? You mentioned it kind of takes a village, right?
It does. The village is over 100 volunteers.
Wow.
We have one night that is kind of like the cumulative ending to the event, and we have buddies that pair one-on-one with the kids. And so that alone is almost 50 buddies. We have carnival games that run it, and then throughout the week, our members and community members come out and do crafts every afternoon. We have people serving meals, anything that you could think of to run a summer camp. We do it, but it's all volunteer-based.
And do volunteers stay at the camp, or is it locally enough that they can go home and come back?
So a lot of the volunteers are day volunteers, but we do have the counselors and the directors that are out there. They're also volunteers. They're staying overnight. So for every 3 to 4 kids, we have a counselor, and they stay, in the bunks with the kids like a true summer experience. But they're all volunteers, and so they're giving their time to be out there, which is just amazing.
Where is the camp held? Where is it located?
So it's Ozark Camp and Retreat. It's just south of Joplin off of Eland Road.
Okay. Well, we're going to get the volunteers' perspective in a moment, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, all about the fundraiser. But before we do, let's hear from a volunteer.
Meet Brian Garrity, Field Support Manager at Children's Division. Brian has spent many years volunteering at Camp Soroptimist.
I hate to sound like an old timer, but the first time I got involved with camp was 21 years ago. And so I agreed to do an entire week as a camp counselor. And so that kind of started my journey at camp.
Over the years, he has seen many powerful aspects of this camp.
Letting kids just shed all those stressors of life and just have fun for that week is just super important and probably the most impactful thing that happens at camp. They're able to build some relationships with other kids, but also kind of see the adults that are there in a little bit of a different light.
That included building trust, creating connections, and fostering a sense of safety where there was once uncertainty.
And so one of my very favorite stories from camp is we convinced a couple of guys from law enforcement one year to be camp counselors. And I swear, after that first dinner bell rang on the first day, and these kids had swam together with these cops, they had eaten together with them, they had played kickball with them, all those stereotypes just melted away. And that was on both sides. That was from the kids, but also from these adults. So that describes to me the impact of camp.
These big and small moments become memories that last forever.
We had one girl that was really into braiding hair. Within 2 days, she had almost all the girls with long hair in braids. And then there were 2 or 3 of us guys that had long hair. I had long ponytail at the time, and so we just looked like we had gotten back from the Bahamas. I mean, it was just so funny, and it's just small memories like that you think back on and laugh. Just this last summer, I was fishing with a girl. She was probably 12 years old, and she caught 2 trout, and then she tasted one of the trout later that she had caught. And she was so excited to tell her mom about catching these fish, and she just thought, my mom's gonna be so proud of me.
This allows the kids to be their genuine self with not only adults, but with other foster children.
For many of them, this was the first time they were with other foster kids. There's nobody, when you're playing a sport, that says, hey, I'm a foster kid. And so those kind of things you don't really bring up. And so in this environment, everybody was a foster kid.
Camp Soroptimist helps guide foster children down the right path, giving them the tools and confidence to build a future filled with success.
The things that I love are when we never hear from those kids again. So that means they've kind of broken that cycle. They go to college, they go to school, they have kids of their own, and they call you back later and say, man, you made an impact on my life. Everything that you do that you're successful at builds a little more resilience, builds a little hope for the future.
Even when life deals a tough hand, Camp Soroptimist helps build resilience and confidence, empowering these children to keep moving forward.
And I've said this line many times, and I really do mean it, that this camp that gets put on every year for foster kids is probably the best thing we do in our county. It's the exact same reason that I take my own kids on vacation. Same feeling.
At Soroptimist International of Joplin, we believe in making a difference in the lives of women and children, one camp, one scholarship, and one opportunity at a time. We make a real impact in our community through 2 additional major projects. Live Your Dream Awards, scholarships that empower women who are the primary financial support for their families, helping them achieve their educational and career goals. And Dream It Be It, a mentoring program that guides high school girls towards success, providing them with the tools they need to dream big and achieve even bigger. Thank you for helping local women and children build brighter futures. Together, we're creating opportunities, breaking barriers, and inspiring dreams.
Welcome back to Newsmakers, where we are in conversation with Soroptimist International of Joplin about comedy for camp and some more. Our guests are Amanda Mitchell and Courtney Bernard. All right, ladies, let's talk comedy. Your headliner has a familiar name, comedian Kevin Farley, obviously a famous sibling. He even does a joke about that of the now deceased Chris Farley from Saturday Night Live. How would you describe Kevin's comedy?
Gosh, I would say it's even similar to Chris in a lot of ways. They just have a very similar build and the way they talk. It's almost like you're seeing a lot of Chris in that too. But he's very talented in his own right too. He's been on TV and movies and lots of things that we'd recognize. And so he's really made a name for himself.
Yeah, I think you said he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm, Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes, that's
so
right.
Big name shows.
Yes, and he's been doing a lot of work the last 14 years, just really focusing on his stand-up comedy going all across the country.
And this is obviously clean comedy because we want it to be kind of family friendly, is correct?
Yeah, we just don't want any awkward situations.
Yeah. So there's a second comedian as well. Tell us about Jodie Fuller.
So Jody is getting started a little bit more than what Chris has been doing. So what Jody is known for is just high energy, clean, very, very easy comedy. I think very relatable to your everyday life. He also is a war veteran too. So I think he puts some of that storytelling, in his comedy as well.
Excellent. So let's talk about the day of the event. And so when is this and where is it taking place?
Yeah, it's Friday, February 20th at the Cornell Complex in Joplin. And so this is the third year that we've had the event at the Cornell Complex, and it's just a perfect venue for what we're doing. It starts at 6:30, but the actual comedy show will start at 7:30, so there's a whole social hour there.
And yet you're starting at 6:30, not just so you can get a good seat, the event also includes a silent auction. So tell us what kind of things you're going to be having at that auction.
Oh, yeah.
Courtney?
Yeah, we have some great stuff, but I do want to mention too, we also have some live music. Chris Bassett will be there playing during social hour. So if you're in the Joplin local music scene, he does some great covers, and so he'll be there. But in our silent auction, there's things for everybody, for women, children, men. We've got some mahjong baskets, some candle things. We have some men's tools. They always need more tools, I feel like. And a lot of great experiences. That's what we try to capture on is, everybody has stuff, but we want to take you to something really cool that maybe you haven't experienced before, or putting some local things together so you can go through town and do those together as a family.
Okay, so silent auction, but also you're doing something called a golden ticket. So what is this golden ticket?
Well, the golden ticket is a chance to win a fabulous vacation. Only 100 tickets will be sold. You don't have to be present to win, and so we're selling them right now.
Okay.
You can go to our website to check that out. But anyway, it's a beach vacation, so we'll pick the winner that night from those 100 tickets that have been sold, and that winner will get to choose one of 4 locations that they might go to. So
wow.
It could be Cancun, it could be Hawaii, it could be Spain, it could be
yeah.
Bali. So
wow. That's exciting.
yeah, and so that's really exciting for us.
Also, okay, so tell me also about the gift card grab.
So the gift card grab is a great way for you if you don't find anything in the silent auction, or if you want to do some more. So the gift cards are valued at $25 minimum, but then they can go upwards too. So each gift card costs you $25. So you're just exchanging that and getting something of the same value. There are a lot of local gift cards that are in there, restaurants, boutiques, things like that. And then of course a few big box stores too. But you never know, maybe you'll get a prize that's worth $100 when you spent $25. So it's really an easy spend.
Well, and you're getting something for your donation, so you don't even have to,
Yeah, it's an easy.
kind of like easy spend. Yeah,
It is a surprise too, so you don't know what you're going to get. It's in an envelope, so it makes it kind of fun.
Let's talk about the significance of this fundraiser in making camp possible. How important is the comedy for camp?
Oh, it's very important. It's the major fundraiser that our club does each year, and this is the 10th year for the event, and so it's kind of evolved a bit through the years, but we're really excited to be able to present it the way it is right now and just keep building upon it. But camp is funded from this event each year, and thankfully, since we've kind of expanded it and are now in the Cornell complex, we've been able to grow the event and have people come and enjoy it and just be able to raise more funds to help our other programs too.
Is there a specific cost for the event, or is it just by donation?
The tickets are on sale, and so it's $50 per ticket for general admission seating, and so you just can go online and purchase your tickets in advance.
Excellent. So let's talk about the s'more part of this, because it isn't just camp. You have other the fundraiser also maybe helps support your other endeavors. You mentioned them in our first segment. Talk about their funding and how those operate.
Yeah, sure. Our Live Your Dream Awards, which are monetary awards that go to women who are head of household, who are working to make a better life for themselves and their family. That's something that we do annually, and we put applications out there for people to apply, ladies to apply, and be able to share their story with us of why they feel they might be a good fit for this award. And so each year we have given out more than $10,000. I think this year we're giving out $15,000 to a small number of ladies who fit the requirements and really just need an extra hand, in being able to reach their goals.
Yeah.
Of
Are there any
their
restrictions on how
goals.
they spend that money, or is it usually for educational purposes?
It's usually for educational purposes, but we aren't monitoring it, and so we just like to check back in with them to see how they're doing with their progress for their goals and all of that. And so, but generally they might use it for books, or they might use it for their household expenses, you know, even their tuition and transportation and all of that. So there's a lot of different ways that they could use it. And I know a lot of the ladies that do apply, they don't have much. And so it really helps them considerably.
Well, and education and finances are all very important for stability. So just becoming independent and staying independent.
Exactly.
Very helpful. So how can someone, the tickets are available online, but it is a special site, right?
Yes.
So it has a funny name.
It is a funny
Butter.
name. Butter.
Give butter.
GiveButter.com/Comedy for Camp 10.
Okay.
And
is this considered a tax-deductible donation since you're a charity?
Yes, yeah, anything that is donated. There is a value to the ticket price because there are some things
Yeah, you get some things
you
with
get,
it.
you know, and so, but yeah, any donations that are made can be tax deductible.
Yeah. So tell us about what people have said in the past about this experience. I mean, how is it an all-around fun event for everyone?
So I think this event differs a little bit. It's not a formal gala. It's a very fun-filled night, very casual. Wear your jeans, you know, come have fun with us. It's very, very clean comedy, which is important to us. Anybody ages 18 and up, you know, we want you to come enjoy the laughs with us. You learn a little bit about our club, and then you get to see, you know, what we support in the mission of that, and have a good time. Laughter is the best medicine, and it's cold right now, so we want you to come warm up with us and laugh.
Sounds exciting. All right, well, ladies, thank you for telling us all about it.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
you being
you.
here. We're going to get a hint to that comedy as we take another break. Let's check out the comedy of Kevin Farley.
Yeah, it's weird to be the brother of a famous guy, you know. It's a weird club to be in, you know. It's like me and Roger Clinton and Don Swayze, you know. Some of the Baldwin brothers, you know. It's a weird club. I had this guy come up to me one time and he's like, Kevin Farley. I'm like, yeah, that's me. He's like, yeah, I know Jim Hanks. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like I said, we're all fat. I said to my mom, I go, what did you feed us, you know? She's like, well, your dad liked buffets a lot. We used to go to the buffet all the time. My dad would be like, get in the car, we're going to the buffet. We'd pile in the car, you know, and then my dad would turn into like a buffet coach. He had all these rules for the buffet. And if you didn't obey him, you were the worst in the family, you know? He'd get us in a huddle outside the buffet like a football team, you know, and he'd be like, get in here. This is $39.95. I'm not messing around. Like, we got some rules to this now. Bread and water, that's a waste of time. I don't want to see anybody eating bread. Water's only be used if you're choking. It's like the celery and the carrots. It's not why we're here. Let's focus. Sugars, fats, and beef. You want the turkey, you want the ham, you want the roast beef. You don't get it, you start bawling your eyes out, and I'll carve it up for you. Most important thing is desserts. You fill your plate with every single dessert they have. If somebody says anything, you say it's for the table. At the end of it all, I'm going to fake a heart attack, grab the chef by the throat. You guys fill your pockets of food, meet me in the lobby. Ready? Food's love. Drink. My wife's into vision boards. A vision board is basically a cardboard cutout, you know, and then you put pictures on there of what you want to have happen for the year. And so, like, the other night, she's like, we're doing a vision board. So I'm cutting out pictures of, like, communication, fun, vacation, money. All this, putting it on there like a fifth grader, you know. She's like, we're doing this all night because there's a new moon in the morning. I'm like, what is this witchcraft? Come on. My friend calls me and he's like, hey, you want to go golfing in the morning? I go, I can't. I'm doing a vision board. And I got to get it done before the new moon in the morning. And then he whispers to me, he goes, are you okay?
Welcome back to Newsmakers. We've been talking about Comedy for Camp and some more, a fundraiser for Soroptimist International of Joplin that features 2 comedians. They're not local, but Joplin has its own stand-up comedians, and we are talking with one about what it's like to build a routine and perform before a crowd. Our guest is Marion Kelly. Welcome to Newsmakers.
Thank you. My first visit here. I like
know.
it.
Thank you for being here. Well, you have actually performed at the Soroptimist event. Tell us what that was like.
It was wonderful. They did such a good job with putting the event together. Anybody who attends, you will notice how professional it all is. They take care to make the surroundings, what's the word I'm looking for, amenable to comedy, which is a very specific art form. You know, like for example, if you can't hear every word, it's not going to be good, because if you miss a word, the joke ain't funny.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
So, and then people start breaking off into little discussion groups because they can't hear, and before you know, you've lost the crowd. So they did a wonderful job. They continue to do a wonderful job with this event.
Being in the Cornell complex, it'll be great because somebody will be on stage. So I recently saw the movie Is This Thing On, which explores how a guy going through a divorce decided to do stand-up to avoid a charge to get into a bar so he can get a drink. So, I mean, it's an interesting way he started to do stand-up. But a question for you is, what prompted you to get into stand-up in the first place?
I never can remember when I didn't love comedy and comedians. My first heroes on TV were Johnny Carson and Bill Cosby. My feelings toward him have changed, but
his comedy stand-up was great, and it was clean for the longest time.
It was, and George Carlin, and I'm old enough to remember when these guys were on the Ed Sullivan Show and on the Tonight Show. They had to be squeaky clean. They couldn't do anything that wasn't. And Richard Pryor. When people hear that I am a big admirer of Richard Pryor, I was in the room with him once, but he was already in a wheelchair from his MS, and I was too intimidated because he had people standing around him like, "Don't you come over here?" But I just adored him because his way of thinking, his way of writing was so unique and very specific to him. But he was one of the most articulate comedians out there. Some people miss that because in his, cable specials, he could get really blue.
Yeah.
But he was brilliant and economical with his language. I just really loved him. And so I never didn't worship comics because I was like, oh my gosh, how do you even do that? It's so great. An audience can laugh at you. And
it may not be as easy as people think. I mean, you mentioned a lot of things about them. How nerve-wracking is it the first time you get up in front of that crowd?
The first time was, I wasn't sure I could do it because I was living in Springfield and they had just opened a comedy club a few months before. So I went out and watched a few shows with the professional comedians. And the club owner got to where he recognized me and he said, "Are you interested in doing comedy?" And I said, "Oh, well, yeah, but I don't, I wouldn't know where to begin." He said, "We're going to have an open mic night." And he said, "We've never had one, so we're going to see what kind of turnout we can get." And so I committed to doing this open mic night. I had a couple of weeks to prepare. And when I got there that night, I was so nervous. I didn't know if I was going to throw up or whatever. I couldn't eat, and which would become a thing. The first year I was doing stand-up, mostly open mic nights, but I couldn't eat on the day of a show. I was too nervous. I lost 30 pounds the first year I was doing stand-up. And somebody asked me one time at a little seminar they were having for an open mic group, they said, "How long before you're not nervous going on?" And I said, not more than a year. And they were just, no.
They wanted to be a lot faster than that.
Well, and some people do. Some people lose that nervous thing. But there really comes a point at which your mind and your body won't tolerate it anymore. They just go, okay, we've seen this thing. We've done this before. I'm fine. And then you just start,
doing your stuff,
putting your concentration on the show, the audience, whether you're not, you're going to do this bit or that bit. Do you remember,
So
what you're
it is a show, and you do develop content. How do you develop what you consider as a joke, and is yours joke-driven, story-driven? How would you describe your style?
I have some that I would say are kind of joke-driven, some kind of one-liners, that I can't find any other place to put them, so I just rattle them off in a couple of places. But more of my stuff is kind of storytelling, or there'll be an arc to it where I can connect a few bits, so that if you want me to do 5 minutes on the Olympics, I can do 5 minutes on the Olympics because, I kind of gathered jokes along the way.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember, were you asking how you develop jokes?
Well, how do you develop your routine?
That was one of the most difficult things for me because, and this was true for, I think other people agreed with me when they were working up their act. I didn't write any of my jokes that got the big response. I was just having a conversation with somebody and they laughed at something I said and go, whoa, is that funny? And they're like, yeah, that's funny.
So I'll write that down then.
Exactly, I'll write that down and I'll try it on stage. And most of the time, if someone had already laughed at it, it would work. Not always, but it was nerve-wracking. It was so frustrating to try and once I got booked and I was traveling and out on the road doing this, I'd try and devote a couple hours a day to writing, and it was just sometimes I'm looking at a blank page going, I got no idea what to say. I wanted to write a bit about this, going to the gym,
right?
And I was coming up with nothing, and I wanted to write a bit about this. I finally, and this took years. This took maybe 10 years, where I kept noticing that my best stuff had come out of a conversation. And I just thought, well, does another person have to be here? Can I talk to myself? And darn if it didn't work. I found out that if I'm just, it's like when I'm on the phone with another comic, well, I can be on the phone with my brother or something like that. Sometimes someone can come out funny. But I have a comedy buddy, Kent Rader, who has done shows in Joplin. He's one of the funniest guys I know. And if we're on the phone together, we always end up saying, we should record this. We should
I'm getting some of my best stuff.
Exactly. We should get a podcast, because when you're talking to someone, first of all, someone who understands what you're doing, and they also have a sense of humor that meshes well. It's not the same, doesn't need to be the same, but it meshes well with yours, and they laugh at your jokes and you laugh at theirs. That gets some real good juice flowing. When you're on the phone, I have written stuff down that has come up that
how
way.
long do you work to maybe perfect a routine or a bit, and how do you decide, I got to drop this, this isn't going?
Yeah, I had a couple of bits that I was the only one who thought they were funny. And you kind of, you see it on the late night guys, if they're doing a monologue, and of course, I've never seen Stephen Colbert tank on a joke. Big fan of his. Jimmy Fallon's, good stand-up. But Jay Leno in particular, I was one of his fax writers.
Okay.
I sent in jokes by fax machine. This is how long ago that was, when you did it by fax instead of email. And if he liked a joke and did it on stage, you got paid for it.
Okay.
Right? Did it on the show, I should say. But if a joke tanked, and especially one that he really liked, you could see him turn to his head writer, Jimmy Brogan, who booked me on the show. You could say, okay, Jim, you were right, that one sucked, or whatever. and they would just go on, because it was always his, he had the final say. Yeah. But, he also had really good writers around him.
Well, what a unique experience. Good luck to you and all the stand-up that you're doing, and we appreciate you sharing that with us today.
It's my pleasure.
That wraps up this edition of Newsmakers. Thanks to our guests from Soroptimist International, and thank you for watching Newsmakers.